Yeah, it really was. And even if the games became one-sided, they were one-sided for a really good drafting reason, where one team pulled out some nice tricks, or they pulled out a nice hero that really countered the enemy lineup, things that their opponents didn't expect. So across the board, 6 really interesting to watch games yesterday, and I'm sure it's going to be the same today too.
Now the question is, Kyle, we've been talking about this quite a bit. I'm curious about your opinion though. Are any of the remaining bounties going to be completed?
The 20 kills one isn't. I actually thought that we should have edited it to be 20 deaths on your own team, not the enemy team. Because then it'd be kind of funny just watching the winning team like sacrifice their 5 support 15 times.
Then you'd be an actual feeder. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But I think the courier one's got potential, but it'll be tough. It'll be tough because these teams are obviously going to be trying to win. There's a lot of pride on the line here. No matter who wins his lower bracket, Secret's going to want to take him down. And again, Nigma has not beaten OG in almost a year, so this is big for them as well.
It is big. I mean, the prize money that you get from those bounties is pretty big as well, though. And of course, if those bounties do get achieved, people at home are going to be happy too, because then for 24 hours there will be extra discounts on SteelSeries.com in regards to the Sensei 10 and the Apex 7. So definitely they are at home rooting for these teams to at least try to achieve the bounties. I think, I think that is a fair thing to ask. At least, put in some effort to try, but as you say, there is a lot of pride on the line with these teams looking to beat each other. We have the 3 top teams in the world playing all on one champion at the end of the day, Cinder. That is some hype Dota to be happening.
Yeah, and I think one of the important things, we heard it from Puppy's interview last night as well. Secret have kind of looked unbeatable. Well, he didn't say that, but that's what we've been saying. What he said was that both Nigma and OG are getting into good form, especially Nigma. It sounded like he's gaining a lot of respect for again. So the field is getting a lot closer, which is really interesting because, let's be honest, the last couple of tournaments, Secret's kind of just been crushing. And now they're starting to lose games, so it makes today way less predictable, and that's exciting.
Yep. I think a huge part of that is just the experience in the meta. If you think back to when OG was dominating the majors, like before they swapped it and started just winning TIs instead of majors, they always looked at Liquid then, but Kuro's team as their main threat no matter how they were faring in the tournament, just because of that experience and the knowledge that at their peak, they're one of the best teams in the world. So I'm not surprised that our top 3 are OG, Secret, and Nigma, because it just makes sense when you look at the careers of these captains and just how talented their teams are. It's almost an inevitability, given enough time, these will be our teams on top.
For sure. And Sinner, you mentioned that it will be hard to predict today's outcomes. We had some other predictions throughout the entire week, the fan predictions, and you are still on time to put in your fan predictions for today. Go to blastdota.com, put in your predictions, and if you are at the top of the list at the end of the day, there are prizes for the top 3. Each person gets $250. Now, if you've been putting in your predictions every day of the week, that means you stand a chance to win $1,500 as well, as that is the prize for whichever one person will be on top at the end of the week. Now, this is one of the fan predictions today. Who will win the tournament? I don't think it's surprising to see Team Secret at the top. Statistically, they have the most chance because they are already in the finals, but I definitely wasn't expecting Nigma and OG to be so similar, Purge.
I'm not too surprised that people would lose some faith. Which one do you think is wrong? Did you think that OG would be higher?
No, but I thought I thought Nigma would be higher, actually.
Okay. I mean, OG made it farther in the winner bracket by a little bit, and they did put up some good showings against Secrets. I'm not too surprised. There's also massive fan bases for all these squads, so no matter what happens, people are going to bias vote for the team they want to win, like me.
Yeah, I was going to make the same comment. Have you seen Reddit when these two teams play against each other? It's like just a bunch of... I'm not going to... the fans are very active on social media for backing their boys. So I think it's probably one of the more divisive matchups that we'll see in Dota 2 because, it's Miracle versus No-Tail. It's the flower versus the anime hero. This is just not a storyline we get very often in Dota.
That is very true. By the way, we have also been putting our predictions in every day of the week, and we have got a tally before we head into the final day. Now, we only have the top 5, and that means the rest was just too bad to the list. So I think everybody, including myself, is surprised to see OD Pixel be on top there. Especially yesterday, he wasn't doing too hot, but he definitely made a little bit of a catch up there.
How can
And
he
not
be
even
good
make
at the
it
skill shot challenge? Excuse me, but how can he be good at the skill shot challenge and at these predictions, and then not at the game, Kyle? How's that possible?
Well, it's because he's a man of many talents, Cinder, and I'm not surprised that you wouldn't understand that.
No, I
You
don't
have
get
so
it.
few.
I don't get it, Kyle. I just don't understand. Wait, where are you on the list?
I must have forgotten to give my
yes,
predictions.
absolutely.
Yes, everybody not on the list was below there. Just, reiterating that one right there. Yeah. There's still a day. You still have this final day to, catch up. I mean, that's very unlikely, but there is this chance that you guess the exact amount of minutes that game time that we'll have today. I bet that's gonna get you a lot of points. You got that one
what's
going.
Crazy. I've got 1,000 points right now, and it says I'm top 5%, so I went up. So Odie has twice as many points as me. I'm not even close to him, but I'm in the 5th percentile. So basically, Odie Pixel is like 15k MMR at bounty hunt predictions, I think.
Or everybody else is just really bad.
That's what I'm saying. He's 15k MMR. I'm like 5k or something. No, not even that. I'm like a 4k bounty hunt predictor. He's really far ahead of everybody else. Cinderin, you're not even close. Don't even try. I hope you didn't submit. It's not worth it.
I think
Come on.
Sidney's pretty
It's-
close.
Listen, if I get just one of the categories right that he doesn't, we're tied, and then it's just about the minutes. This is winnable. I'm going for it. I'm gonna beat everyone. I'm gonna get $1,500. I'm gonna go from 68th to 1st.
Do want to point out that we are not eligible for the prize money. Don't worry. If Sinrin beats you and you're at home, you're sitting, and Sinrin beats you by points, then don't worry. We will give you the money instead. Sinrin,
Or will we?
no. Yes, we will.
Okay.
Yes, we will. You know what we will also
Damn it.
do? We will also talk about the brackets that are in front of you right now, because we're almost done. We're almost out. We're almost crowning a champion. We've got only 3 teams remaining. Nigma, OG will face each other first, and then Team Secret is already waiting in that finals. And that's going to be an exciting finals. Doesn't matter which team will make it through, I think, Kyle.
I feel like it does. I think Nigma stands a much better chance against Secret. We saw that even going back to the We Play Mad Moon event, where they were down 2-0, then took the following 3 games. I think OG at their peak might be a better team. We saw that TI9, of course, but I think that when it comes to Crow versus Puppy, that matchup is always even. Whereas right now, I think Secret's just a better team than OG, as they kind of demonstrated yesterday. I know it was a 2-1 series, but I didn't feel... I didn't really get too impressed by OG's plays. I thought they just had an edge in the one draft.
And here we see,
Pretty safe.
here we see the gold as it stands right now. Of course, Alliance and Nigma both managing to get a bounty out of the way. Other 2 bounties still in the pool, and I think I don't know, if you're OG, you think you're the weaker team compared to Nigma, wouldn't? Like, OG is a team that I was expecting to go for the bounties. Why aren't they?
They didn't have that many games so far, right? They just had a couple
True.
upper bracket matches, and they had to play against Secret, and they couldn't mess around at all to try to take the win. Like Kyle said, they had some draft disadvantages, and they were playing a little bit worse. It kind of felt like a lot of the games that OG's played in this tournament, it felt like they were always playing slightly from behind, which isn't a good place to be at. It doesn't make you very comforted in their chances of winning the whole tournament. So I think they're probably more focused right now on playing good Dota, because they have just reformed all of their players. They're finally playing with the roster they were supposed to play with months ago. So I think they might just be a little bit less bounty inclined than we've seen in some past tournaments, unfortunately.
That's fair. They're just, they got their serious hats on and going all tryhard, which is understandable, I should say. Speaking of tryhard hats, Kyle, you did some preparations. I'm about to kick you off the show. Do you want to do
Fair
any
warning.
more jokes for Syndrin? Like, do you have like a notepad with you to read up some jokes?
No,
Give your
honestly,
best one.
just keep him on camera. He's very good at making a fool of himself. I can't...
Boo!
Yeah.
Boo!
You should really console your notes. That one off the cuff was not so good.
No, it wasn't. I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask a player who had been recently discovered whether they were happy to be found by Kuro or No-Tail instead of someone like Synderen, who almost certainly would have tanked their career. But that question was unfortunately axed. So that was.
Yeah,
like,
but it also
subtle
makes no
point, but-
sense. Didn't Synderen kind of put Yapster to the spotlight? Like, I think that was
Yeah.
a pretty. Like, he's had a pretty good career.
Do we need to correct Kyle? Who's making a fool out of himself? There's no. You don't. If you follow Dota,
That's
you know
fair.
he's wrong. You don't need to say.
That's fair.
It's.
We'll
Kyle,
see.
I do want to
We'll
say
see.
I have been enjoying your interviews, and I hope the next ones that we're going to see are going to be really nice as well.
Of course, yeah. I'm just, yeah. I agree,
Yeah.
Sheaves.
You've been doing great, Kyle. No joke on that one.
They've been
You've
good.
been good.
Yeah.
Good
They
job.
have been good.
You guys have been adequate as well. Thanks,
Thank you.
guys. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Kyle. It is time to move forward and to talk about OG and Team Nigma, because these two teams are going to go head-to-head. Winner faces Team Secret in the grand finals, and we heard Kyle also. There's a lot of pride on the line for this matchup. What did you say, Kevin? Was it you that said that Nigma hasn't beaten OG in like a year? Or someone
I
said
definitely
it.
did say that.
I think,
Okay, well,
I think
someone
Kyle
said
said
it.
it. So I don't know if it's true. We can
Fair.
benefit of the doubt or not. Do we think that's a true stat? Never really know.
We'll just
but
throw it out there. Some guy said this. It might not be true. Well, I'm sure they want to win. We can definitely figure that out from how the games are going. But here's the team lineup for OG. A handful of fantastic players at the top of their games. So very excited to see them come to top form. Will it happen this tournament? I don't know. That's what I predicted because I would like to win. But I don't think it's as likely. But can they beat Nigma? I think absolutely. I think this is going to be the more competitive match of the day. Most likely, unless either Nigma or OG massively improve during this series. But should be good Dota no matter what. And we'll see some dead couriers, I think, Shiva. Don't worry.
Yeah, but is it 9?
No, it's not going to be 9 probably.
I do.
Nobody's even broken 5.
Yeah, 5 was the highest so far. Yeah, that's a long way to go. I do want to add, I think what often happens in these tournaments that have multiple consecutive days of gameplay between similar teams or, between few teams is that the teams develop their own like mini tournament meta, which will more or less inevitably fade in a week. But what is hot right now can change in the blink of an eye. Like, we could see something happen in this series, and then you go into the grand finals, and some of the top-rated heroes could flat out just vanish. So
Yeah.
when teams like these play against each other, the individual game carries so much weight, not necessarily only based on who wins, but just based on what information you give away in the draft. And that's what makes it so difficult to predict who's going to win, because, like, think about it. From day 1 to day 4, how much the drafts have changed, even for the same teams. It's very difficult to be fully prepared for what you're going to face today for either side.
Yeah, we'll see if Kyle also was fully prepared to have an interview today with both Mid1 and No-Tail.
Just ahead of their match against Nigma, we got a shot to talk to the two-time TI winning Captain No-Tail. We have a rematch of our grand final up ahead, No-Tail, and I just want to know, how do you feel like your team now compares to the form you guys demonstrated back at TI9?
I mean, it's definitely a different team and a different time. I think we always look at the year where TI is the biggest thing, and TI is the one time you really want to peak as a team. I think we managed to do that both TI8 and TI9. We got close to like a certain levels of peak in terms of intensity, in terms of hype, in terms of atmosphere. And that's very hard to replicate right now. So we're definitely not there at the moment. Online games and lack of bootcamp, definitely two factors that need to be there for us to play our best. But we're not far talent-wise. We're not far in terms of other things, like theory-wise. We understand the game still really, really well. Maybe even better than we did at TN9. I think probably better than we do at TN9. But yeah, to make everything come together and execution to be flawless, we'd want a LAN event, a boot camp, certain things to happen. Yeah.
Just before they hop into the match, we've got Mid1 for just a moment. First things first, this Tusk off lane. Is it the real deal? Is this just you having fun? What's up with that?
I I mean, I believe he's the real deal, but yesterday we had the game wasn't going that smooth, and our communication wasn't that well. I'm not sure what, but maybe we were not feeling good on game 3 for some reason. But I think it should have worked. But yeah, I believe he's the real deal still.
Okay, cool. And at least the mid one I know always likes to have a lot of fun when he plays, all about the memes. Do you think that your personality and play style mesh better with OG than squads you've had in the past? Because they certainly know how to spam the chat wheel.
I mean, after I first joined it, I don't know, I started spamming it a bit. I think I gotta be on the same with the team, kind of, you know, get into it. Spamming chat wheel, I think it's pretty fun sometimes, but I don't really spam it that often, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I like the OG play style, just but now the meta is a bit different, I guess. It's very different compared to TI, and things has changed, and the way we play also changed in a way. Yeah, we kinda adapting to the meta, I guess.
Well, definitely a different playstyle now than it was in TI9 indeed. And we heard Notel say about that he feels their understanding of the game is better, maybe better now than it was then. I mean, obviously there are some other factors lacking there, and he talks about it with the hype and the pressure and the peak time. But it's interesting to hear him say that he feels like he understands the meta now better than what he did then.
Well, I don't necessarily think he was talking about meta. He was more his understanding of
Of the
Dota.
game.
Meta's
Yeah.
like navigating what heroes happen to be more powerful right now. So like that, it just gets a lot more complicated because it forces rock paper scissors situations. But I also think that it's interesting that he said that. But I think almost all Dota players, basically all Dota players that are on the top, if they want to stay on the top, they have to constantly be learning. So even though he won TI and that his understanding has increased, every other team has also learned a lot since then, and you could argue that maybe they've caught up slightly more because they had OG's games to watch, and OG was the front. So it's one of the biggest weaknesses of being the best team is that so many people study you. Not only do they understand your style, but if they're really smart, they can figure out why you value things and try to duplicate it and pull that into their own knowledge well.
And another thing as well about this, you know, it could even be something as banal as the patch itself just being easier to understand. So that they feel they have a better grasp on Dota in general, because, you know, something that a lot of people have been talking about with this patch is that it's a lot more linear. It's clearer what you need to do to try to win, and then obviously, like Pridge said, then the meta, the picks around it, obviously developed based on that. But maybe the framework right now seems less complicated to these players, where it's more of it's an easier recipe to follow, to feel like you're in control of the game, if that makes sense. At least I feel that way about the patch right now. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's the kind of thing Notel's thinking about as well. Like, I understand the game really well right now because there isn't as much complexity perhaps right now as there's been in the past. I don't know if you guys would agree with that, but...
Well, what I do know is that the squad that we see in front of us right now didn't have that much grasp on the game compared to OG when it was TI finals. They didn't have, unfortunately, the results that they would have wanted, but they would have learned a lot. You learn a lot from mistakes, and if OG is the team to focus on, I think of all the teams, Nigma is the team that would be able to learn most because they felt firsthand what it felt like to play against OG's full force. And Nigma has been on the climb as well. They've been doing better. They've been more stable. They've been looking good. Puppy said they are starting to figure things out as well. And they already had the gelling thing going on. Of course, that's one thing that we talk about with OG. You know, they still have to gel. But Nigma has been together now for quite a while. And they've got that down. And they've got the game down. So they're about ready to hit their stride, to hit their peak.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. They have been looking quite good, and I think that their drafts have felt a little bit more in control. The OG drafts have been a little bit wacky to watch, where sometimes they draft themselves into some mistakes. It's been getting better over the last couple series, but Nigma just looks so much more stable that I feel like I know what I'm going to expect when they show up and play a match, whereas OG just kind of feels like a coin toss into the air at times.
And that could be good or bad, right? If you're looking at it from Nigma's perspective, you might feel like, okay, they might be a bit more prepared for us than we are for them because we don't really know what's going on as much when we play against this team. At least for me, the least predictable team in drafting this tournament has been OG. You're going into an important series that's always a little bit worrisome, right? Like, how do you address even the first phase when OG pick seemingly just different heroes than the other teams do and rate them very differently?
Very, very true. Let's find out what Nigma's headspace was before their series, as Kyle was able to talk to GH.
Treat we got today, guys. A rematch of the TI Grand Finals to start us off. OG versus Nigma. We got GH here to chat with us real quick before the game. Wanted to ask, so they beat you at TI, they beat you in ESL LA, they beat you in the Pushka League, and they beat you in the Gamers Without Borders charity events. 4 straight series OG have taken over Nigma. What are you guys going to do to bounce back, and why does it feel like they just have your number?
Come on, man, you're just making me feel bad about it right now. I almost forgot all of these except the TI. Well,
I'm sorry.
well, we watched the game yesterday. We felt that OG, even though they had our number for the last series, we feel pretty confident about being able to expose their weaknesses in the next upcoming series.
What are some of those weaknesses? Can you share any secret details?
Well, as you can clearly see that they're not in their top shape right now, so this makes it a bit easier for us to play for the win. Otherwise it would be a hard-fought battle, but I believe right now we're in a decent place. We still have a long way to go, but I feel like OG, they're struggling a bit with the draft or the end-game style, so I feel like we have a good chance.
All right, Nigma has a good chance. They feel like they pinpointed OG's weaknesses. I mean, that's a pretty big thing to say already. And, I mean, we knew that OG wasn't in their full force, full strength. Both of them were able to take off a game of Secret, different ways, of course, as well. I know, Purge, you have OG pinned to win the whole thing today. Are you still confident after hearing GH talk about this matchup like that?
I wasn't confident when I wrote OG in the group chat this morning. No, I'm just trying to aim for the win here because I figured nobody else would do it except for maybe Owen, and then Owen let me down too. He went for Nigma both games, so I don't know. We'll see what happens for the end of the day, but I went for the winning play yesterday. It didn't work out, and now I got to do the winning play once again just to catch up, which is going to be tough.
Can I just say I love GH? That's all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, he is very great indeed. And we are going to get to see him play very, very, very soon because we are going to a quick break. But when we're back, it's draft time.
I love GH.
We are very close to starting this series, the rematch of the TI9 finals. I say rematch, is a little bit different roster, of course, on the OG end, but we still have 7 TI champions about to head into the game. 2 runner-ups and 1 person that I think got top 6 as his best achievement. That would be mid-1. 2 of those players, the position 4s, I mean, Sinri, you said earlier you love GH. You said it a couple times. How much do you love him compared to Saxa? What stands out for you there?
Oh, are we talking in-game or outside of game here? Because
I mean,
GH is just so wholesome, you know. Like in interviews, he just seems to be like he has to be such a good player to have in your team. He just seems like he has that aura of positivity. He's always trying his best. He's never doesn't, at least seemingly never, a bad influence in terms of mood or whatever. And he just really does his job, right? It's like the perfect package in a player. Good teammate, really good player. I would say, to a large extent, also an innovator, right? He had like his own hero pool that he made popular. Keeper of the Light. He played an insane Magnus, which kind of got him discovered in the first place as a pro player. So he's not afraid to try new things and do his own things. As far as Saxa goes, he's also a comp player. I think he's a bit, I want to say probably a bit more quiet than GH. He's just very, I don't know if stoic is the right word. It probably isn't. He's just like a very calm force, which is also great. Once again, somebody who can control their nerves and just play solidly under all circumstances. So yeah, I mean, both players for me are amazing. Very good.
Yeah. And Saxa's also had lots of experience playing at the highest level. You know, he got second at TI at a position where their team didn't expect to do super amazing at TI. And I think that it's obviously always been a big goal for him. He's always been on the top of the leaderboards in Europe on many, many different accounts. So he's consistently shown that he's a top level player, but he hasn't found a really good success in the last couple of years. But OG still recognized his talent, and it's not a massive surprise that they snagged him. He had a bit of a downturn in career the last few years, but it, like, OG grabbing you basically just gives them your gives the person their blessing, knowing that they recognize his skill and that he's worth having on the team, and he's going to perform really good all the time.
Yeah, Kuroki actually mentioned Saxa. That was a while back before even he was on Chaos and got second at TI with Weeha on the same team, by the way. It was Kuroki that said Saxa is the most underrated player in Dota 2, and it's good to see him getting some extra street cred. I think that's what you call that, Purge. I mean, being on OG just gives you that credibility to say, hey, by the way, I was good enough to be on the 2 TI winning team. Unfortunately for him, also no TI this year around, and it was Saxa that tweeted out that he was very disappointed for that. It's kind of, you know, he is a very quiet person, so it was kind of unfortunately funny to see him tweet that out. Obviously the situation is not funny, but yeah, those were one of the first only few words we hear from him. We're gonna see what these 2 teams have in store for each other, though, because we are moments away from getting this draft on the way. There we go, powered by a Betway, and we got some first phase bans already going on. We got the IO ban, which I, by the way, put into the most banned hero of the day. How about you guys? Which hero did you put in?
I think I did Beastmaster. I think someone like IO is definitely a really good pick, but I was not as confident, I guess, as somebody like Beastmaster. But
I think I put Lycan. He's been banned every single game, first phase.
yeah, Lycan was a good idea as well. We haven't seen him played yet.
But this could be...
Until now.
Yeah, it could. And we thought that yesterday. We're like, could this be the Lycan game? And then he was the last ban of the first phase.
Yeah,
in
both
instances.
of the times, yeah.
So, but yeah, it is possible. I think if Lycan sees one game, he will not be the most banned hero. I think there will be one hero that gets banned every single game. And for me, it's between Lycan, Beast, and IO. Probably one of those 3.
That's fair,
if not more than one. So, yeah, let's hope OD picks something stupid.
Yeah.
What'd you guys put in for most played hero of the day?
Oh,
let me check.
I put Bat Rider, and
that's a good pick.
I did it because we see him all the time, because we didn't. But I felt like something you guys said earlier today as well, where it's like today we're gonna Bat Rider gets banned. Well, that's unfortunate. Today we're gonna see like the meta develop between these 3 teams, and we're gonna see those changes more rapidly than what we normally see. So I hope that Bat Rider would be one of the new OP heroes, which apparently it is, but I made it to be too OP is banned.
I'm
Like it
surprised
through
it got
though.
first phase banned actually, but Weeha has been looking really good for Nigma on that hero, so they don't
Yeah.
take the risk. I chose Luna. It seems to be getting through the ban phase most of the time, and then it gets picked in first or second phase in a lot of the games.
Yes.
It even had a last pick, I think, or a ninth pick. So I think there's a good chance we might see Luna as well. But hey, the story right now, Lycan is available.
Okay. Crush Cinder and Stream.
That's
It is available.
That's the
rate
first
Enchantress
time
first
of the
pick.
tournament.
Yep.
The first time Lycan got through, or Enchantress pick?
Lycan got
First time
through.
Lycan got through. Sorry.
Okay, gotcha. Enchantress is going to be a strong lane stabilizer. She does have some issues in the mid and late game, but laning stage wise, she's pretty effective, so teams are still prioritizing her a bit. It's a pretty generic safe opening, but one of the big weaknesses is that you don't have very good gank potential as you start moving around the map trying to get kills. And Mirana's going to not only be a hero that Nigma has a lot of success with, but it's also going to be a decent counter against Enchantress because you can kill the creeps that she takes over to try to control the laning stage.
And on top of that, you have Insane Magic Burst, which obviously Untouchable can't really deal with this hero combination. This is the second time Nigma do this opener when they are second pick in this tournament. A lot of the time during drafting, the first phase, I would say most of the time is actually really difficult for the second pick team just because you have only one hero to go by and you know you're going to get counter picked into one ban. So having these kind of flexible openers where you're like, okay, we feel like we can go in different directions with this, we don't need to commit for anything. It's just a feel good opener in this patch. It gives you stun, laning, catch, and team fight in these two picks. So I understand why they like it so much.
Yeah, and it was really effective, the one match they had it before.
Yeah.
Even though the Sand King had a sort of mediocre laning stage, they just went around killing everybody constantly for the rest of the game and pulled out a guaranteed win because it's so difficult to react in time for Burrow Strike into arrow combos, and Nigma has been executing them perfectly when they did them before, so OG's going to have to be worried in the mid game.
Shiva, I don't
Yeah.
know if you have access to this right now. What's
Yeah.
Enchantress's win rate? I feel like it's lost every game.
I'm gonna find that out for you, and I'm also gonna say
It
that I
can't
was
be
wrong
good,
by
at least.
saying that mid one's top TI rate was top 6. It was top 4 with.
Oh, he got fourth this
26.
year. Yeah.
And also with Fnatic in 2016.
Oh, he's been twice.
He's been twice top 4.
True.
Been around the block.
And you did
I'm gonna
mention
look up
runner-ups.
Enchantress.
Is Weeha
I
the
did-
only two-time runner-up? I think he is.
Two-time runner-up, yeah.
He's got second twice, but not one.
Well,
or-
the only one in this one. I mean, there's more runner-ups. FY, isn't he? Hasn't he been one runner-up?
Yeah, in this, yeah, it's true. There's more
He
than
made it-
him. I think Funnick as well, right? Did he get second at TI2 and 3? Or was he not in Navi and TI2? He was,
think he
right?
was.
I can't remember.
Or was that Light of Heaven? Ah, man, I can't
think
remember. It's
Light of
many
Heaven
years ago.
was TI too.
It's many years ago. But there's probably another
I know
runner-up
Kuro has
that's not
also
twice.
been second multiple times.
But he has also won.
Yes,
So
this is fair.
specifically somebody who has only been runner-up more than once. I think there's very, very few players that have
That is true.
managed that, which is still an incredible accomplishment. But you know you want to go the whole way. But
Yeah, it's weird to talk about that. It's like, you only got fourth. Like, wait a second.
Oh, you only won $750,000. That's tough.
Yeah, tough life.
Or however much it was.
A ridiculous amount.
Or Spirit most picked hero. Yeah, he's been pretty effective. It helps that OG likes picking him in the first phase. They've been playing him as a support and a mid. Last couple times it was support, not mid. I assume that trend will continue, but maybe there's some specific thing they look for reasons to drop the Earth Spirit in mid. Sind, it kind of feels like teams sometimes will just pick these flexible early openings, and then they will basically pivot it depending on, like, maybe is it like lane matchups typically? Like how important do you think it is for pro teams to like ensure that they have the ideal lane matchups? Because sometimes it seems like they force lanes that don't seem as viable in our game, like drafts that don't seem as viable just so that they can win the lanes.
I mean,
Would you say that's true?
I think the Secret Game 3 from last night is a great example of how much it can matter that you have a very complex draft that's difficult to place for the enemy team, basically, where you don't know which hero is going where. Makes it really difficult to draft against, and then if you end up winning 2 or 3 lanes because of it, in this patch in particular, it seems to be really, really advantageous to come out of the laning stage with even, like, at this level of play, even a somewhat marginal lead can be so impactful because the players don't make any dumb mistakes. Then having even a 1k gold lead in one lane can determine the outcome of the following 10 minutes, which leads to the inevitable victory or at least a Roshan advantage. So, Yeah, I think it's super important, and I do agree with you. Like we're seeing it a lot more recently. These flexible openers. I just think it's a sign of the times, right? The patch kind of demands it at this level of play when you get this far into the tournament.
This tournament, by the way, only 3 picks for Enchantress and only 1 win of those.
Only 3 games. I could have sworn I saw.
We've seen it banned a lot.
She loses a lot. Well, okay. Only 1. Did you say so? It's 1 and 2, or was it 1 and 3?
1 win, 2 losses.
Oh, wow.
3 games total.
Okay. Not too bad.
Not the worst, yeah. The Venge is telling of a nice combo hero. Maybe Luna is what we're about to see on the Nigma side. Yep, there it is. Very clear pick based on the Venge showing up. And they pick the Grimstroke to protect against it. To get
Oh shit!
Dark Moon, and then we get a second Dark Moon with the Lycan pick.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about this matchup. I feel like Lycan deserves a lot of talking because he's been banned every single game, and now we finally get to play him.
Yeah.
So what makes this hero so insanely powerful in this patch is I think he boasts one of the highest win rates in all brackets, or at least in the very highest bracket. He's incredible. So in this patch, Necronomicon is really good, and so is Helm of the Dominator, and Lycan loves buying both of these items. So he has this insane timing minute 15 to 20 where whenever his ultimate is up, it almost feels like he counts for 2 heroes in fights. So in the matchup against Luna in particular, you have a carry who doesn't like when people come up too close, at least early on. Luna wants like a BKB butterfly or something like a satanic before she can truly stand her ground. And Lycan is going to try to exploit that by just being faster, just running at them and fighting way too early. And Nigma had to have seen this coming, right? They let through the Lycan the whole way. They're setting up for a game where Lycan can shine. So I want to see what the solution is. If they think they could just stand their ground regardless, if their combo is strong enough that, okay, Lycan's going to run at us, we will stand still, cast spells, and kill him. Because once you start running away from Lycan, things can get dodgy really quickly.
Yeah.
Nice ban here, by the way. The Meepo ban is super valid in this game.
That's true. It's very good against Lycan to
Yeah.
chain net him, prevent his high movement speed. Another nice thing about the Lycan pick is it's going to give you a bunch of summons that you can use to block arrow combos, so it could make Nigma's
Yep.
ability to initiate a little bit harder too.
Absolutely.
I mean, Luna does have some solutions though, because she has a decent amount of AoE with her Lunar Glaive, so she can deal with his summons, his Necro summon, his Helm of the Dominator, that kind of stuff if they need to. But it's just in the meantime he's going to be slapping you, so it's not always great.
And it doesn't feel good to glaive down the blue Necronomicon unit, right? You don't want to take the last will damage, so
The
obviously
red one.
The red one, yeah.
I think the blue one's the range.
they're both blue and red.
So
What?
really, you just didn't say anything good.
Yeah.
by
No,
saying
but the
blue
red one is the one that hurts.
They both hurt, Sheever. Whatever color it is, I know what it looks like. Yeah.
You just don't want to be wrong.
It's red blue. I'll give you that. It's maybe
Whoa.
maybe a bit more red. Okay.
It's very
red.
entertaining how come if both
It is
of you
red.
are. That's, I think, the biggest lesson I've learned over the last week.
Purge. How about we settle on burgundy? It's the burgundy one.
Okay. It's fine, I guess.
Sick. So, okay, Kunkka comes out from OG. We've seen this hero in quite a lot of games in this tournament. Obviously, a great mid-game team fighter, good laner. I think having Ghost Ship against this Nigma lineup will prove to be exceptionally valuable. They have a lot of AoE damage that tries to clean up the team at the same time with, like, say, a possible Epicenter, the Eclipse, like you pointed out, Starstorm, Wave of Terror, everything just amping up and doing a lot of spread damage. I find Kunkka to be really good against the lineups that don't have this really hard single target, because, you know, if you spread all the damage around and everybody tanks basically twice as much, you end up not getting any kills during the run, and that is obviously a big problem for Nigma here. So,
Yeah,
Very good.
it's also really helpful for focusing and starting kills. We saw Konko played against Luna in a different match against Nigma. It didn't ultimately work out, but it can be great to start things off. And then there's a Huskar
Spicy.
pick.
He is... you just know it's Weeha using that voice line. This is a pretty good Huskar game. The lane matchup is great against Kunkka. It's one of the few lanes that Kunkka loses on average.
It's not going to be Kunkka.
Yep, it's not going to be Kunkka anymore. Now it's going to probably be Earth Spirit or Lycan. Well, he wins all the lane matchups, I think. The AoE disarm is amazing against Lycan, so Inner Fire here will be very, very useful. I love the picks. I think both teams really showing some top-tier drafting here. Don't have a particularly clear favorite at this point based on the draft, but Nigma with this last pick definitely put themselves in a good position and they kind of needed that in my opinion. So using the last pick well, it's going to be an exciting match. I don't know if you have a clear preference here, but
I guess, yeah, there's a lot of really nice advantages that Huskar provides. That's absolutely true. OG's not always been the ones to prioritize like the lane matchups, but I just don't have massive amounts of confidence in Earth Spirit mid. It just always feels like it's playing from behind. So I guess if Sumail has a good game, and they can guarantee his lane, then in his mid rotations go well, maybe get a couple miracle kills with help from the Kunkka, then everything could look fine. But Kunkka could also have a rough laning stage himself, so I definitely like the Nigma draft better. It looks a lot more clean and safe.
Yep, looks like Betway also likes the Nigma draft a little bit better, as the odds were a little bit in their favor. We're gonna find out though who's gonna take the first game of the series as we head into the first game of our Consolidation finals with OD Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you, Sheev. Yeah, I mean, well, Fogged, it's a Huskar coming out as the last pick for Nigma, but they have let through that Lycan and into the hands of OG. Now, how do you sort of rate this from Nigma? Because as the panel said, surely Nigma knew this was going to happen when they leave this hero in the pool. Do they have a pretty good, solid response to the Lycan lineup?
Oh, I'm actually like listening to Cinder, and I was just like, he's literally pulling the words out of my mouth. Actually, I was just thinking like, I loved the entire draft from OG. I think it was actually super dominant, even with that Kunkka pick. I think this Huskar is pretty much the only X factor that brings it out for me for Nigma, because I feel like this Luna can just get run down way too often right now. When you see the rest of the draft, this Lycan, Grimstroke, who's Air Spirit, they have so many ways to pierce in the back lines. Kunkka drops a boat as well. They can easily just, just run her down and just
well,
get on
I'm
top
sure
of
what you
her
said was
every
very
time,
smart, Fog, but I couldn't hear it because you
Oh.
muted yourself on the chat. I'm sure the stream loved it, and I'll play along and assume that what you said was incredible. But here we go. We're into the action. I can hear you now.
Alrighty,
OG
good
versus
morning.
Nigma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still sipping my coffee. I forgot to unmute. I was saying pretty much how I agreed with I feel like Cinder and me and him, like I was having the exact same thought process. I loved the OG draft all the way through it. I think the picks were fantastic. I think this Huskar actually kind of saved the draft from Team Nigma. I was a little concerned for them because there's so many natural counters for that Luna. I think Huskar changes the whole entire dynamic of how the game is going to be played, because he's going to be this monster that they have to actually address instead of really being like, oh, we have to worry about Luna all the time. Huskar's going to set the tempo probably.
Yeah, and you'd imagine, I mean, this mid lane, right, he's going to have a solid start.
Yeah.
So like a Thompson Earth Spirit, that's not going to cause any issues for Weehara as a Huskar, right? We've seen already in a lot of matchups where Thompson, obviously very impactful as the game goes on, but when it comes down to the laning, especially on his Earth Spirit, he's going to lose out. And doing it against a Huskar, it's got the potential to be real rough in that mid lane.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching No Tail. I feel like he's going to influence this mid lane, because the thing about Huskar is sometimes you do get a little bit low when you are throwing your spears and you are harassing a lot. And Earth Spirit does have a mechanic that can, take advantage of that. You can boot him under the tower, and then a rotation can come, and you can outnumber him. So that's something I'm probably going to be looking for, at least from No Tail, to do to help out Thompson a bit, because I think they'll need it. And that's a very OG style thing that they used to do in the past too, like just a quick 3-man rotation around that early 3-minute, 4-minute mark to help out their mid laner, help out Thompson.
Yeah, we'll see on the side lanes being bottom lane, Sumail. He's going to be on his own for now. We'll see.
Courier, that's how you help your mid laner in one step.
All right. No sal for Weehar. He's just going to have to rely on the 2 shared tangos of the Verifier for that minute. See what Thompson can do with this time as he kicks the boulder out. Tries to get the creep wave forward in his favor, and will be able to do so with the big wave coming in and doubling up. So, I mean, as you say, No Tail, he's looking out for his man in the mid lane.
It's still going to be rough for Thompson, but you're going to watch Weehad. Like, look at the HP he does get down to all the time. He's always going to be like half HP, something like that. So there's always there's a chance for them to boot him under the tower. He's still going to win the lane pretty handedly, though.
Bottom lane is the combo. They've done it so many times. Bow Strike Arrow. It's easy kills for Nigma if they're able to find No Tail spread away from the creep wave.
Yeah, I wonder if Mind Control opts to go for a Caustic or two in this lane too, since he's versus a Lycan, and the Wolves, you can just, you can kill them a lot easier. You can clear the creep wave a lot easier to go for the Lycan kills. Don't see it too often, but a possibility. Mid lane. Thompson, he's got him under the tower. This is what we're talking about.
The kick. That's going to be a couple of hits, and that's
Fair fire. He drops the stone to taunt him.
What else has he got? He's got a boulder in 5 seconds.
He eats the tree and he backs away. But
Yeah,
that's what we're
it's too
saying.
much.
You got to be careful under that tower. That's what can happen as a Huskar. Now Sox is also trying to mess with him a bit. And now
All
Thompson,
right.
he's got his bottle delivered, level 3. Look at that, his
Yes.
last hits too.
Looking pretty good.
Yep.
8 for 2 against the 6 for 2. As you say, yeah, we has got to be careful on that. And that was Thompson doing that on his own. When we do start to see No Tail make a move over there, bringing in a creep, has got to be very, very careful.
Yeah, he's winning the lane now because of that. Look at those last hits. 11-3 to the 8-2. Very solid start for that mid lane. Bottom, I feel like it's still very hard for them to ever actually kill Sumail. They're going to get kills on the Enchantress, but Sumail, I feel like he's just going to free farm down here pretty handedly as a Lycan.
Yeah, no, and I'm excited to see what Sumail is going to do with this hero in this game because, as the panel said, it's been banned out so many times this tournament. And in pubs, it is a bit of a nightmare. I mean, how do you rate this hero at the moment? Is Lycan, just conceptually and in this meta, just without a doubt, the strongest carries to be right now?
I think so. I mean, like even from like 2 or 3 months ago or something when Howl was reworked, I just looked at Howl and I was like, this ability is absolutely bonkers. Like 18-second cooldown, you've reduced 40% damage. It's 8 seconds long. You reduce it to 2,000 AOE global. Like it's insane ability for me. And then just his natural toolkit afterwards and a Dominator is amazing, especially versus like a hero like Luna. You just beeline. Top lane.
Saxa is going to be able to get himself into the trees and he's able to turn, get a good nuke out onto the two of them. Mid one has Torrent back up. If he's able to land it, might find something, but Kuro won't be caught by the Torrent. Mid one still gets the kill onto Miracle though, as Miracle hangs around, and a Tidebringer, that suffices. That gets the kill. That's Miracle taken down on this top lane. Mid lane. Ooh, he tried. He tried, Thompson. He went in. They were both incredibly low, but obviously, when they're at the same HP like that, the Huskar is going to win out Weehaw with that 2 points in the Berserker's blood. As it's getting to the point, I think, you know, at this stage for Thompson in the 1v1, even when the Huskar's low, alone, it's just unlikely that he's going to have the burst to kill Weehaw before Weehaw's able to turn and do so much damage back to him. Thompson, we roll forward for this one. GH, he has got the mana for the arrows. He pops the mango. He's just got to look to try and line it up. Out it comes, makes the connection. And as soon as he's back to lane, he's dead again. 20 seconds out, and even when he's up, the TP's going to still be on cooldown. So now, I mean, he had a great start, Thompson, in the way that he was able to even the CS, but we're now starting to see it sort of transpire. As you'd imagine, this Huskar is going to take the lead by quite a mile.
Yep. Yeah, especially with the rotations like that from GH. He's done this every game that he's played the Mirana. Checks those 4-minute runes. He usually gets aggressive wards down pretty early on, so he can make early rotations. Top. Saxa.
Tried to play an aggressive with the Ink Swell, but they're able to keep him at bay with the Magic Missile and the Lucid Beam. Mid one lands the Torrent onto Kuro. Kuro sidesteps the Stroke of Fate, turns back to try and help Miracle take down mid one. Wave of Terror's out. Kuro, he'll be the first to fall, but this time they do get mid one in return. Miracle's going to look to chase down Saxa, and with the damage, one more hit will do it. Is he going to be able to find the vision? Saxa, whoa! There's a pause. But I think, I mean, Miracle, he did get the attack animation started here, so I think Saxa's probably going to go down.
Probably. Kuroki can also still cut him off with the illusion a little bit too to get vision for another attack, perhaps. And he's just, I mean, it's Luna. No boots though. 325 versus 335, so see if he gets to finish the attack.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, just before the pause, the attack animation had begun, but I don't know if it was just too late and Saxa is going to be able to get out of range before the hit comes out.
So we're mentioning a lot about, you know, a couple of these matchups and everything. I was saying Huskar, he's the one that can maybe change the whole idea that I had about how dominant OG's draft really was, but at the same time, too, I'm seeing how much free farm Sumail is getting. This is a concern. This Lycan can just take over the whole game, because he's also, you know, versus Huskar, Lycan is pretty damn good. Sure, he has the AoE disarm, which can be a bit annoying, but you can play around that really easily, and you're just straight physical damage.
Yeah, and when these sort of pushes do come in and Sumail's got the full army going with the helm and the Necro book, I mean, how do you sort of rate Nigma's ability to de-push lane? Like, what's the wave killer?
There is not much. No, it's just about taking a head-on fight. Maybe depending on Miracle's time, or sorry, Mind Control's timing. If you can get a decent timing for a Blink Dagger, then it changes a lot of how they can set up and take fights around towers. But besides that, they don't have the greatest way of just like wave clear or taking a head-on fight.
Yeah, if they're going to go in to get rid of the creeps, they've got to do a fight with it.
Yep.
They can't sort of sit back. They don't have any easy nukes to throw out and clear the waves without committing themselves.
Yep. how's your morning this day on, by the way?
Yeah, pretty good. You know, a little earlier start for me, which I like here in EU time. I know for you it was rather early.
Yeah, it's
You
like
having to
7
wake
a.m.
up.
It's okay.
I see, that's not too bad. 7 a.m. start.
Yeah, on a Saturday, you know. My Friday, I had a great, lovely Friday night. You know, I went out. No, it was good. It was good. I've been waking up pretty early anyway. The sun is blasting over here in New York, so.
Oh yeah, I bet. Well, I guess in New York you still have its ups and downs, right? You get rainy days, don't you? It's not all sunshine in New York. Is it?
No, for the most part lately we've had just radiant sunshine for the last few days. It's been pretty nice. This is
And
early
yeah,
start too, right? For you know, yes, I know yesterday we were talking
Yeah.
about how it was like 4 p.m. for me or 4:30 p.m., which meant for mid one it was super late. This is an early day for mid one.
Yeah, I guess it. Yeah, no, this
Right?
works to his favour. Yeah, you're right. Midbone's going to be happy with this start time. Means that he's not going to have to stay up to the super late hours. You know,
Maybe.
obviously going by if they do win this series, OG,
Mm-hmm.
which is good because he's got a long day ahead for both of these teams. Grand finals obviously being the best of 5.
Yep. How do we have for these bounties since we didn't get to really look at them? We have one for one for one right now, and then I only see one spawn. Did one get killed? Did I miss?
I'm not going to might be some micro taking down it.
Yeah, I think one of them maybe got
Bounty.
attacked or something like that. The one up top is still available. All right.
What are we waiting for? It's,
Weehaw, yeah.
what's he doing?
He's playing Oscar. He's having a good time.
I mean, it's
Level
a 2
6.
level difference.
Yeah, look at that.
I mean, at what point is Thompson just going to leave this lane and just start to make plays elsewhere? Because I feel like even if they bring him back up, for them to try and go on to Weehaw, it just seems like a recipe for disaster. Like, they can't try and gank the Huskar now, can they? Surely it's too late to make a movement mid with just a rotation. It's going to have to require like a full push from OG to actually run at this Huskar.
Yeah, or they might have to just bring 3 heroes or something. That the attack does get finished off up top, and Miracle nets himself that kill. And now, oh, look at Kuroki. Is he going to try to kill? Oh, I think he was trying to kill the bounty run. His illusion didn't last long enough, though.
Thompson just resorting to killing some of the neutrals, knows that going forth to the lane is incredibly scary with that 6 online from Weehaw. Top lane, Saxa back in action, ready to see if the 2 of them can maybe play into the tower onto Miracle. As Kuro's having to take the time to walk back to the lane.
We're going to quickly talk about Soxa too. Is we did get to see this done the other day, the Aghanims versus the Luna. He's got it immediately queued up on this Grimstroke. He knows what he wants to do with this game, so he'll have that Luna illusion eventually. And we're already talking about how strong OG's draft is in particular. Looks like they do have a very good idea of how they want to play this game.
Yeah, for sure. Letting the Luna through was definitely intentional by the looks of it. Bottom lane. Ult has popped and Mind Control comes in with the good old hard counter at the TP scrub. As this ult will not find them any kills. Still obviously forcing the SK back. It's nice because Sumail can start to push in onto the tier 1 tower. Over towards mid. GH maybe look to see if there was set up, but he's needed top because the dive's coming in. Thompson with the rotation finds Miracle. Nigma, can they take anyone down in return? Saxa does fall. Mid 1 still with a lot of HP to go. He's looking towards Kuro. Kuro turns with the magic missile, but Thompson kicks out the boulder, slows him down. OG get the 2 of them as Thompson makes a crucial rotation, getting the double kill, realizing that the mid lane is not where he wants to play. It's time for him to start getting active on the map, and he's doing so in style already.
Yeah, and now he's actually hitting mid. He's about to hit level 6. He's got the Magnetize online.
And we are. He's going to turn jump with the life break to slow down Thompson. There is 3 heroes here with the Inkswell on the Mud Golem. They're trying, but Weeha's able to knock it back with the inner fire. TP's come through. Kuro and GH, they'll look for the arrow. There's the follow-up after the magic missile onto Saxa, but Sumail, he's sending the army in there onto Weeha. He's actually going to try and beat down the Huskar, but Thompson's lockdown. They'll get it. They kill off Weeha, and Sumail is even starting to chase down Kuro as well underneath the tower. Kuro turns, stuns the Purge creep to try and get him out of there. Can he get the Purge creep quite close enough?
Oh, he's trying. Oh,
He does get the slow. It's a little too deep. So heads up play there from Kuro to turn around and stun the Satire Banisher to stop that chase from resulting in a kill for Sumail.
Kind of cool thing that happened there too is you saw Weehaw, the life break. He used it to dispel off of the Magnetize off himself, so it wasn't able to be spread afterwards. He ended up going down anyway because the extra rotations, but yeah, just using life break to dispel that off himself was kind of cool.
Meanwhile, down on the bottom half, Mind Control was able to get the solo play onto Saxa. A little bit of a return kill there for Nigma down on the bottom lane. It's 5-7 though, still very close opening. See some of the items being queued up. Thompson, see what he wants to grab this game. Weeha is going to, of course, be going for the armlet and then into the, you would imagine just the halberd. This game's going to be very solid against Smail.
I actually thought Thompson would probably go for the halberd build as well. He's versus Huskar. It's just such a godly item. But he might go for, who's actually going to go for the vessel this game for them? They probably want to get one of those as well on their team. Oh, we'll see. Up to Thompson, really.
Top lane. Dust onto Mind Control. Midpoint has got the 6. He's ready to throw the boat down. Mind Control's pretty tanky. He has a brace. It comes out with a bow strike. The boat comes in. Midpoint still trying to dive forward, using the Tidebringer, but it's not enough to kill Mind Control off. He's able to be fine, hold his ground. At the same time, Thompson will manage to get the kill there.
Oh, he finds Wee!
Also collapse onto Wee. Turn over to Kuro. And with the Inkswell, OG's going to get all 3 of them.
Oh, that was a massive play by Thompson there. He actually just forced them all to chase him for so long. I don't know if the camera's looking at it down here, but I was watching it. He had the Magnetize spreading on GH. GH tried to TP, and then, yeah, the rest of them collapsed on top. That was really good play there by Thompson.
Midbon. Noto, they're still trying to go for Mind Control. They won't catch him with the Torrent. He's in the cover of the Sandstone. The two of them, no detection left out. Noto starting to get himself some sentries and dust on the way. Weeha comes in with the TP mid one. He's going to TP out, but he's X'd himself. So he, unfortunately, there's no way to break that X. He's coming back whether he likes it or not, but Weeha's actually a little scared. Doesn't want to try and tackle him the second time, so steps back. Mid one will be fine. Turns over towards Notel as Miracle and GH look to re-secure this top outpost, but the Torrent heads up from mid one, stops them from grabbing him back before the 10-minute mark. Very nice, sorry, from mid one.
Yeah, beautiful Torrent. And now that's a big advantage for them too, because if you look, that net worth advantage already at the moment, and they're playing a draft with a Lycan who can just really ramp up and take over the map, especially versus this type of draft, like a Luna draft. He's going to be able to set the pace. I mean, like we said, it's really going to be up to Weeha to be able to defend these next few moments to give that space for Miracle, but he's not looking so strong now.
They've managed to kill him a couple of times. These movements and Thompson getting the kills that he is. Top lane. This time around should be a much more solid attempt onto Mind Control. He's already a little low, but the bow strike does actually dodge the bow. Still, the 3 of them will beat him down. They've got the damage between them with the impetus helping out. Mind Control will fall, and OG can start to push onto this tier 1 tower top. They're getting the kills. It's now a 3k lead for OGs. You know, they're playing faster and faster. This is scary. It's a lineup backed up by Lycan. If they start to get ahead early, OG will be able to clean up the map pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I loved OG's draft till that Huskar, and right now the Huskar is not really looking as strong as I thought it might be. This is going to be very concerning for these next few moments, because I don't see really how they take these head-on fights when you're going to start playing versus this type of an advantage of OG. When they have even like a Kunkka's boat coming on top of all of it with this Lycan just chasing into your back lines. And it's definitely a scary next few moments. As Miracle's not going to be able to join, right? Miracle's just going to be in the jungle, so they're going to be playing a 4v5 style that you know OG's going to capitalize on.
Oh, absolutely, and it's sure we've seen so much strength from Luna and so many victories. Miracle himself, you know, one of the players that's been doing so well. This game, though, is there going to be the time for him to get to the point that we've seen in previous series? I don't think so.
I don't think
You've let
so.
a Lycan through.
And they're also, like, you look at the items that they're queuing up, like I mentioned. Look at this mid one going halberd, Thompson also going for that halberd. They're already addressing not only just the Huskar, but the Luna too in later stages when they get these. It's a fantastic item versus both.
Mid one. He's going to try and set up here. TPs are coming in. It's a little deep, but they've got Samael popping this shapeshift. They're ready to go in.
They're not
Silas
scared.
there into the Torrent. Is there any save for Weeha? There is a swap off to the side, but Samael, he's just going to chase on forward. The inner fire tries to push them back. Weeha finally goes down, though. They get the kill, and now with the rest of the shapeshift, they can just dive in for more. Samael chasing down GH. Kuro trying to swap his way back to safety, but it's into the stun of the Centaur. Kuro is dead. GH will live as he's able to leap up to the high ground, but OG, they're just running down Nigma. Mind Control, he's turned up to the fight, but already there's 2 heroes dead on Nigma. He's got to be careful. Miracle's caught on the high ground. This is a disaster for Nigma. 3 dead. OG just running over them. They're speeding it up, and Nigma, they're just not ready for it. That pick of the Huskar, as you mentioned, that was meant to do something in terms of slowing down this sort of playstyle from OG. It's just not worked out.
Nope.
Mind control in the mid, goes forward with the burst strike, but they still have the numbers on OG. They could just stand on top of him in the side.
Look at
Hit
Weehaw.
the Inkswell stun. It's another kill.
They're considering for Weehaw too. He can't go in. This game might just, I hate saying this, but this game might just be over. If OG continues playing like this, there's going to be no comeback factor for Nigma. They're going to try to fight back here.
They're gonna
Bringing
fight
mind
back on
control in, but
Can they actually catch anyone? Thompson's already rolled out, and with the buyback, the tower still goes down, and Nigma can't get a connection on anyone. Everybody on OG gets out safely.
oof, it's going to start getting, it's going to start getting to desperate moments already in this early game here for Nigma. OG, they're not going to slow down. They understand the pace of the game that they want to play, and I feel like they're just going to keep running at them now.
Yeah, that level 3 Necro book very close to being done on Samael.
Mind control, he's still so far away from a blink dagger, especially with that buyback now too. That was pretty much the one thing that maybe if he got it at a very early time, he could surprise them and get this humongous burrow strike epi, but that's not going to be the case. And now look, I mean, OG, this is the way they want to play. We were just talking about it, that they're not going to slow down. They're not going to give space.
Every time you see that on the shapeshift, 3, 2, 1, shapeshift's back online.
Yep.
They're instantly looking to make moves with it. Miracle,
The wolf.
he's been found. The Inkswell on the invisible wall sets up for Miracle to be taken out once again. As OG sweep over towards the bottom, they're ready to push down these tier 1s as Kuro and Mind Control, they're trying to hold the wave out. Obviously they'll be able to just tank this tower, take it without the creep wave. This tier 1 gone. No trouble at all. Saxa is starting to head down and scout things out at the same time towards mid. Thompson was eyeing up Weehaw. That's Kuro. Does he want to try and go for the bite onto Saxa? Saxa is alone. So this should be an easy kill for Nigma. Finally able to find something.
And mind
Saxa will
control.
show and will fall.
MC gets the kill. He needs to get like all of them. Him getting the blink dagger, I feel like is like the only way that they can even try to take fights. GH, Moonlight Shadow.
So here's off the dust and he's gonna find the hit with the torrent.
Okay.
Doesn't want to go further in. Little worried that more of Nigma may be hiding around under the cover of the shadows. And I think, you know, as you say, the shapeshift on Samael. Where's he heading with this one? Who's looking for Kuro? Kuro's already out with the TP. He's going to start making a beeline towards this area that Miracle's been consistently farming in. Maybe see if he can catch him towards the end of this shapeshift. He's still got
They're
half
just
a
gonna
bit left
dive
to
him.
go, and Thompson's in. The setup's there. Thompson already doing a hell of a lot of work to Miracle on his own. Miracle will TP out before Samael and his army turns up. GH is still going to commit with the TP in to try and hold this tier 2 and push them back. The shapeshift does end, so OG will retreat. It's looking very scary right now.
Just can't make any mistakes on Nigma if you want to try to have an attempt to come back here. I imagine OG's going to maybe back up here. They could look for a Roche on the next Necro book usage. Right now they're still trying to assert dominance though. You see with the way that they've placed their wards, they want to take advantage of these. They're kind of trapping Nigma on their side entirely around these tier 2s, so they see everything whenever Nigma is walking out right now because of these.
Out they come. GH, Kuro, they'll go for the setup, but Thompson, quick with the roll onto Weehaw. The boat's going to come crashing in onto Kuro. Kuro's going to be the one to go down. They cannot successfully set up onto Thompson. GH tries to leap away, but mid one drags him back with the X mark. It's 2 more kills for OG, and I mean, that's 3 of Nigma coming out, looking to go on this Earth Spirit, but they cannot deal with it.
Miracle?
Gonna be able to not land the slow. Okay. Miracle is able to juke it, so Miracle will live for now. Thompson all in all having an excellent game, 7-2 and 5. It was a little bit of a slow start. Did die the 2 times in the mid lane, but we're seeing why OG love to get Thompson his mid Earth Spirit. You know, you're not picking it to sort of smash the enemy mid laner in the first 5 minutes of play. You're picking it to be able to have this incredible impact, regardless of what sort of start you had in the early lane. His bottom, he's alone, and he is a goner. Weehaw dead once again, heavily struggling this match. 2, 4, and 0, and like it was sort of the opposite side of things for him. He started his mid, kills off Thompson 2 times, but he wasn't able to do anything with that early beginnings. As he is now struggling, and as a Huskar, it's
GH.
very hard for him to do much at all. Roll forward on GH. GH will pop the mech, but the damage, it's far too much from Samael and his summons. GH will go down. Top lane Miracle and Kuro will show to start pushing things out. Saxa's going to TP up, and mid one and Notel, they're on their way over.
No mercy. Don't let them get any space. They can just do this. They know that there's never going to be a fight in the next. I mean, there probably won't be a fight that Nigma actually has a good number to take versus them. Like OG can just take every fight, even if they have a number disadvantage like this.
And Nigma's got to hide. Miracle hiding in the trees. Same with Kuro. Maybe they want to go for this. They do have the Eclipse. They do find mid one out alone. He's able to get the halberd
really
off
tanky.
onto Miracle. The boat buff as well is going to keep him fine. The Eclipse damage alone was not enough to take him out straight away. They're still going to try and chase, but backup's inbound. Saxa turns with the silence. The arrow gets duped as well. Doesn't hit on either of them. Saxa's in position for the two-man stun with the Inkswell. Time has been brought for Thompson and Hotel to come on over. Miracle's going to go down. Kuro will fall as well. And mid one survives with the help of his friends. Everybody lives on OG. And again, it's just 2 more kills. 20-8, 7k lead for OG. They've just turned up in full style today, this morning. They're going to be very happy with the results of the draft. They do get this Lycan, and that's the thing, you know. So for this whole game, it's not just the Lycan that's the problem, but it's just the fact there's a Lycan as well.
They want Sumail, but
He's out. Mind control. He jumped forward.
Oh,
he
now
didn't
Weehaw.
have.
Oh?
No, he's dead. He's dead. Mind control will try the burrow strike. But he's dead as well. Yeah, mind control, when they went for that, he just didn't have enough mana
Yeah, he used
for the
the
burrow
sand
strike
storm.
as well. So nothing to stop Sumail from running away. It's getting painful for Nigma, this one. This one's getting painful. GH, he'll die. 19 minutes in, 23 kills. OG have just really hit it right this first game.
Yep, and again, look, just running directly at Nigma. Are they going to take the outpost? Oh, don't people these. Okay, they're not. They're just going to take the fight and kill Kuroki. Goodbye, Kuro.
There we go. Just run away, Miracle, run away.
He got the, Kuro guarded the outpost. He took it. They got the 350 XP bonus, but now Sumail into Roche. They're looking to clean this one up.
The Aegis, and well on his way towards the AC. It's Lycan, Sumail, 11k net worth. All 3 of OG's cores, as they have been for pretty much the whole of this game, at the top.
And we get
Nigma struggling to keep up.
And we get some lovely Lakad Matatags, which I have missed quite a lot.
Nigma, what's the plan? He's got that halberd queued up, but he's still so far away from it.
I don't know what the plan is. I think the plan is, well, next game. Because this one, I just don't know how they can take any type of fight. They just don't have the damage. They just don't have the farm, and they won't be able to get it. That's the problem. OG, they're gonna keep running at them. They should be. I mean, they'll probably be looking to close this game out, like we were mentioning, pretty soon here. GH. Oh, he
he's
does
got
the
the
torrent
vision.
for the vision.
Very nicely done from mid-one. As mid-one, he's had some rough off-lane performances, but this game, probably his best of the tournament so far. 6-1 and 8.
He's in.
As the off-lane Kunkka. And Weeha's out. Every single time that Weeha's out alone, it's an easy kill for Nigma to find. Kuro's go with the TP out. Mid-one, he's there just in time again. Another catch from the Kunkka as mid-one sets up for Sumail to pick up the double.
And bottom, mind control. Okay, he'll be able to blink and hide himself in the trees. Thompson was already on the prowl.
Well, here we go. Time to start poking at the high ground for OG. At just the 22-minute mark, Sumail, 500 gold, and AC will be complete on top of his level 3 Necro and Helm.
Yeah, it's pretty good item timings, you know? not too shabby.
I don't think we're going to see Lycan again this tournament. You know, we sort of, I don't think we had, right? Did he get through in any of the games? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Also, like, it's like Lycan with Grimstroke as well. It's just just an absolute beast. Like, Invisible Inkswell is just insane. And, I mean, yeah, just Lycan in general. 8-0-5, 200 last hits, set a flawless game. And it provides you so much. It's like a good laner, and then it also just provides you this beastly tower pushing. You never have to worry about objective taking when you have Lycan.
Top. Mid-one is going with the setup. They are trying to head over. GH will be able to juke it with the leap. Nigma is here. Do they
Okay,
want to
maybe.
try and help him out? GH, he's going to go down. They're now going to start moving. They've got the Eclipse. They're looking for sacks, so they'll get the one of them. They have got the control as well on the mid-one with the burst drive. And mid-one, he's got a full BKB. We are judged forward. They've got the physical damage, and they'll take him out. Nigma finally able to move out and find some kills. So whilst this happens,
Maybe they can fight
OG
bottom too. They're actually going to
still-
come and try to set up.
First strike. Weeha. Samel's got the shapeshift. There's the backup two. Thompson rolls forward on Weeha as quickly as he life breaks in. His own life gets broken. Samel goes down, but he's got the Aegis. He's going to be ready for round two. Thompson controlling Kuro on the back lines. It's a triple kill for Samel. Notel just running from Miracle. The halberd upon Miracle as he's got nothing left to throw out. As OG yet again, they're just rolling over them. The top lane, there was a little moment for Nigma to enjoy getting some kills, but quite quickly the game resumes into the beatdown that it has been for the last 20 minutes. 14k lead, OG now up to the base and ready to start taking some of these towers on the high ground.
And now GH. He'll be okay, but Thompson, you know,
Will he?
just beating him up a bit. Oh man, no, he's not.
He's not okay.
Oh my God, the impetus.
Oh no. Oh no.
I mean, they're definitely laughing about it a bit there, right? When you just like GH just gets. Oh, that's too good.
Well,
Well,
quick game one.
Quick game one,
So,
you know?
just get everyone woken up. We did start the day a little earlier. You know, maybe Nigma had to wake up earlier than they used to.
oh,
They haven't had their breakfast yet. So we'll make sure they've had their breakfast before game two.
yeah. I mean, Lycan is just such a monster of a hero. Just they play. They know exactly what they need to do when they play these type of drafts. Like they know they can just play a 5v4. Like when you pick, when they know when Nigma picks Miracle, this Luna, he's literally just gonna go to the jungle. So they can just play this super aggressive way, and it's not gonna be responded to in a very good manner.
And this, I mean, it really has been, you know, a very solid showing from OG in this game.
Yeah.
You know, considering some of the things that they're doing here, we've seen them try and not work out to as great effect. Like Thompson on his Earth Spirit, he's had some rough games in the mid. This game, he's been an absolute star. 9-2 and 17 on the mid Earth Spirit. You know, these sort of performances that are in mind when OG are drafting this. They know that Thompson can pull it out, and he absolutely has done here in this game.
He's got
With the
E-Blade.
E-Blade.
Look at this.
Messing around with Weeha, mid one there, steps forward, the swap out will save him. Mind Control comes in with a Burrow Strike, but he cannot save Kuroki as Kuroki dies in a matter of seconds. Over they go towards Mind Control, diving in with the armies into the Sandstorm, but they've got the detection. The boat comes crashing down. BKB's popped by Miracle, but it isn't going to save him from the big bad wolf as Miracle goes down. Weeha will be able to push them away with the inner fire, but they dip in and out with the Necro Books, kill off the Huskar. They can go back towards the mid.
They just tier 4s, I think. They just end the game.
And there's the
Yeah.
Gs. There's the GG. Game one, OG. They couldn't have made it look any easier. This was a very fast one. 26 minutes in, 23k lead. All around, excellent performances from the five of them. Nigma, they just didn't have the time or chance to play their heroes. They just got rolled over too early and too hard.
And it reminisces a little bit of at least in this one, because of the way that the drafts are, it reminisces the TI thing. They're running at us. What do we do, right? But they just, with the draft that OG picked this time around, they're able to just run at so hard Enigma. They can't respond unless Mind Control gets an early Blink Dagger or Weeha has a super dominant lane. They can't respond to the aggression from OG, and we saw that the whole game.
Yeah, that's as I say, you know, going from what we saw here, I'm pretty sure Lycan is not going to get through again. You know, Samel having an excellent time there. I mean, the whole squad is very hard to really pinpoint one member. I mean, if I'd have to, for me, it would be the fact that Thompson did give us such a showing this game on his mid Spirit and mid one as well. I really felt, you know, the other days we've seen him play like these playmaking offlaners like the Tusk and when he played the Underlord, you know, some really rough performances, but he comes in this game 8-2 and 12 on the offlane Kunkka, setup after setup. It's all just gelled perfectly for OG this morning, and Nigma's got to be very scared going into game two. This is the OG that's turned up today.
Yeah, you're gonna have to respond, and you're gonna have to know you have to like switch your style because you know that the way OG likes to play, right? OG likes to run at you. OG just wants to take battles, so maybe they have to pick something that isn't so passive of a style for Miracle. He has to probably have something that can actually fight back in the early game.
Well, we'll see what sort of change-ups they make in Game 2. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, as Game 1 is over and done in a very short timing of just under 27 minutes. OG to take Game 1 against Nigma. We'll have Game 2 after the break.
Hey everyone, it's Era from NIP, and I'm trying the Betway skill shot challenge to see if I can get the highest score at the Blast Bounty Hunt. 3, 2, 1, we're going. Come here, Witch Doctor. Lion, you wanna be my friend? Oh man, this is going swimmingly. Okay. Mirana, my best friend. Ah! I'm just spraying and missing. Oh no, this is not good. Okay, Mars, this is easier. Okay, they actually have to get speared. I see, I see. I'm with you now. I'm just gonna go for the same tree. Why not? Oh, dude. Am I unable to do this? Guess I just have to hit every race. Okay, well done. Let's see how I did. My final score is 4,429. I thought I did okay. Could probably do better. You could try it yourself and share your score online with the hashtag Skillshot Challenge. Next up is my captain from NIP, Soneko.
Well, there were a lot of things at play in that first game of the best of 3 series between OG and Nigma, but I think the most important thing to take away is let's ban out the Lycan again after that game performance from Samil. Welcome back to the Blast Bounty Hunt, where we are in the lower bracket finals. I'm here with Purge and Cinnamon, and we're gonna break that first game down. The Lycan, surely it's gonna be banned, Sin. Surely.
I think so. I mean, it's one thing that it gets through the first ban phase and everything, but the fact that it gets 8th overall picked into this kind of lineup, I think OG, they snap picked it, right? You saw they didn't even take a second to think. They're like, if they pick Luna now, we're going to like it straight away. And they knew exactly what they wanted to do. I think OD covered it very well. The game plan from OG in this game is all-out aggression. It's a really good playstyle to have against Luna early on to just limit her space into the jungle. And we're going to see some magical clips from Tops in this game as well, like some great individual performance.
Yeah.
Coming out from him.
Yeah, like the Lycan was definitely a big hero, but some of these fights with Thompson getting these massive kills were were the really big decider. This was like the first game to me where I felt like Earth Spirit mid was actually a really effective hero. And in some ways, they Nigma kind of picked themselves into it with the Huskar pick, because Huskar is a hero that does almost more damage than any other hero, especially in the mid lane matchups. But Earth Spirit's actually quite effective against it because he's very mobile, but he also has really high HP. So Huskar has a harder time killing him before Huskar himself dies, and Earth Spirit can push him out of position. So whether that's under tower or into his allies, it's kind of reminiscent of the Kunkka X thing. And both of those things are good against Huskar if Huskar isn't ready to fight. So it's like they basically just got to take their fight to Nigma from the start of the game to the end of it, not that it was very long. And they also had all these other perfect combos, like the Grimstroke Kunko, or the Grimstroke Lycan Wolves, which is just perfect for Inkswell setups. So it kind of felt, after watching the game, that OG had the perfect draft.
Yeah, if you think about the lane that some teams have been playing this tournament, the Grimstroke Ricky, it's kind of similar logic with Grimstroke Lycan, right? You have this hero that has a guaranteed way of getting in the Inkswell, basically. I mean, maybe you have sentries or whatever. Even in the laning stage, right? It's hard to go on a Lycan Grimstroke. In this case, they are laning the Lycan with the Enchantress, of course, which is also a great lane. Putting the Kunkka with the Grimstrokes. Just overall, the thing I love about OG's draft is just the amount of potential. Like, if you think of it that way, how many ways can they start a fight? How much can their heroes play around each other and enable each other, right? It feels like there are so many combinations of 2 to 3 heroes that can win fights everywhere on the map. And it just makes it flow so naturally, right? Like, everybody can just walk to any lane and do stuff. They're just very free, and wonderful game one.
I think you're talking about walking to any lane and do stuff. I kind of felt like we were missing that from GH this game on his Mirana. I kind of felt like he was tied to that bottom lane, like he couldn't really leave. I don't think we've seen him had this little impact on his Mirana as he had in his other Mirana games that we've seen from him. Was that just because the lanes didn't work out for him?
It's just harder game when there's summons. I saw him land a lot of arrows, but it was oftentimes killing a wolf. Sometimes he got his Necro or the Helm of the Dominator creep to give himself 200 gold, but that's what he has to do in the game. He has to try to land arrows, but it's not going to do that much. They got an Enchantress killer 2 in the lane. He came mid and he helped kill Thompson that one time with a nice arrow by the rune, but I just think his hero was actually just a bit countered in this match. If the Lycan Wolves aren't there, maybe it's different. Maybe his arrows are going to mean a lot more in team fights, but if he has this like monster arrow flying in and he kills a creep instead of stunning a hero for 5 seconds, that's a world of difference in terms of team fight impact.
And it is, for me, it's different to play a hero like Mirana that really revolves around playing around 1 to 2 key allies to find kills, when it feels like any fight you try to take, you're not, like, kind of the name of the game for Nigma here is, we're not ready yet. That was the story of the game until it was over. They're just never ready yet. Their heroes need more items, they need more time, and OG are just running at them, taking all their towers, taking Roshan, cornering the map after 15 minutes. I think Miracle started getting killed at his own triangle, like 10 minutes in by Grimstroke Wolf combination and an Earth Spirit. It's just super tough, and it's the OG you love to see, right? Like, it's super aggressive. It's all the things that have won them key games. Just again, the big surprise really is that 8th pick Lycan, who really enabled them that extra little bit to make it maybe easier than it should have been.
But it wasn't, because it wasn't just the Lycan, right? I mean, sure, Lycan helped, but that speed, that tempo that OG played at, like, how do you slow that down? Was that's not just draft related, it feels.
It's go ahead, Perch.
It feels like this is the thing that that OG kind of does in all of their tournaments, is that they say, like, this is what we want to do, we think this is the best way to play, and they force it and they force it and they force it, and eventually they start finding magic and understanding all the nuances, and then all of a sudden it looks like, oh, what they've been doing this whole time actually makes a lot of sense. And in this case, they've been consistently drafting really, really lane focused heroes, with the exception of the game where they played like Ricky, Ursa, +1. It was like 3 melee heroes. That game looked a little greedy. But it's also reminiscent of the game's Secret, that they had some kind of weird drafts. They picked like Enchantress Tree, something else. It's very, very early game focused, but they need to just do a little bit better in the laning stage, and then it looks good. But because they had been losing the lanes a little bit too much, it just kind of looked weak, and everyone says, OG's not looking so strong. But that game, it was like a perfect example of what they've been trying to do for most of the tournament, and we'll just see if they can do it again next game.
We'll see indeed, because we are into the draft powered by Betway. We can see some bans again. Lycan did, of course, get banned again. Also interesting, interesting to see Enchantress getting banned this time around. We know that that was the first pick previous game. We saw it on the side of OG. And OG do not want to give it away as they banned it out.
Yeah. I was going to suggest going into this draft that Nigma might want to ban out the Earth Spirit just because against this specific team, the way OG play, they like picking, there you go. They like picking it early and they flex it on both 2 and 4. And if you're specifically counter-picking Thompson mid with a Huskar and you kill him twice and he still takes over the game, it's a bit concerning. Like, that's not just because it's Thompson, just because Earth Spirit. It's like the macro thing of the game. But just when you're playing a team that puts so much stock into one hero like this, it very quickly becomes a high-value ban. So I'm happy to see that from Nigma. OG seemed to be laughing at it. They're like, you know, it was just a matter of time, right?
They just, you know, you gotta do it. That's why they pick it all the time. It's like eventually they'll have to ban it. By the way, heroes that made it through: Ember Spirit, Nature's Prophet, Viper, still in the pool, as well as Batrider. That was first phase banned previous game because we had a couple change-ups. Also means that Queen of Pain is still in the pool as well.
Yeah. You said Ember too, right? I think that's
Yeah.
the only other one. Okay. Yeah.
I think he'll
that's
be
the only
first
one.
picked if he's not banned here.
Ooh, Luna getting removed in the first phase.
Ember here, right? Yeah. So what Nigma need to do in this draft now, after what happened in game 1, is that they need to find a way to match the tempo. So if OG are offering up an Ember Spirit that they can play on Miracle, they can get Miracle way more involved from his carry position. And this way they can enable mind control better by giving him a slightly greedier hero, because Miracle can make way more moves than he does on the Luna. They also put some pressure on OG here to probably force them to pick Coddle, which you don't necessarily want to do a second pick when you don't have an awesome pairing. OG don't seem to like the Void Spirit as much as, say, a team like Secret do. They're going to go for Nature's Prophet. Now I don't think they'll pick Coddle at all, actually. So Nigma will get that opening if they like it.
You're saying
so
OG is going to grab the Coddle? Or?
I don't think they will anymore. And I think that's what Nigma were going for here, is they want Coddle Ember, but if you first pick the Ember, so imagine you first pick the Coddle, right? Then OG could pick Ember +1 and feel pretty good about themselves. They could have picked Ember Furion, but Coddle Furion just doesn't sound nearly as strong as an opener. There's counter picks to both heroes that you could transition into, so OG are likely to just give it away here, and I think Nigma will snap it up pretty much instantly for GH.
Sounds pretty reasonable. What's OG's lane winner then? Grimstroke or something? I guess beating Ember isn't easy, I suppose, but in lane.
It also depends what they like have a little like if they want to keep it in the dark. Who's playing Nature's Prophet, because they have a lot of people that can play Nature's Prophet on that squad. They go for the Shaker, another flex pick there too.
It kind of it got banned a lot in some of the previous series, but it's been forgotten a bit here. So it's a good hero for setting up some Ember kills when he makes mistakes. Yeah, you're right. There's the Coddle pick.
So if you want to look to exploit one thing that OG has here, it's the fact that when your position 4 is a Shaker, the tempo of this game is different, right? OG will try to play fast with their Nature's Prophet, but Shaker naturally will gravitate toward hitting some lane creeps at some point. He will need a little bit of downtime to eventually get the dagger. And during that, Nigma will just ramp up the tempo of this game. I think they're going to keep picking aggression. We might see something like Dragon Knight, or maybe some low cooldown hero like... Maybe they even get Avenge again and just try to run at them and fight them. A Visage for Weehaw, perhaps, just to play that tempo. And OG will try to, they will try to be able to match, because they see the importance of not being overrun after that early game. So they will. The issue for OG is that they kind of have to pick first every time until the end. So every tempo pick that OG show gives Nigma information that they can then decide on, okay, how fast do we have to go? How much do we need to take towers? How do we deal with the Nature's Prophet split pushing, etc.?
It's an interesting point, especially because they often don't care that much about like lane matchup wins in terms of like the mid lane, which a normal team would value with their ultimate last pick. Perhaps it is an even bigger disadvantage for having that pick order for them.
Yeah, that's true. Thompson doesn't generally... I think OG are going to last pick Sumail's hero in most games for that reason, because they want to give him the best possible conditions. Last game they didn't. It was an insane liking game, so they were not worried at all. But yeah, as second pick team, OG might consider that. They obviously also have the choice of putting Sumail mid on the Nature's Prophet. They did that yesterday, and Thompson played Troll, which is banned, so they would have to go for something else. But Yeah, interesting stuff here. I think if I'm OG now, I want to make sure that I don't just get bullied, right? So I think you have to make sure you pick, maybe you decide now if Nature's Prophet is 5, but nothing else. So you could get Grimstroke. They're gonna get another strong 5 in lane. They're getting the Bane. Now Nature's Prophet is not a 5, most likely, and not a 4. You could play Shaker Core, right? That's unlikely. Nigma need to pay a bit of attention to laning stage now, because Bane, Nature's Prophet are 2 extremely dominant laners in this patch. Need to be able to.
Are you expecting Bane to be the safe laner, right? So he doesn't really know what his matchups are going to be, but obviously your ability to trade hits and heal back up is excellent. Not to mention your setups later in the game, but yeah, it is the first Bane pick. Like I really like the hero myself. I just don't necessarily have huge faith in it. I guess having Earthshaker as a pairing is really nice because they could definitely both control different aspects of the fight. But it's unproven yet so far in this tournament, at least.
Bane has a really good win rate this patch, though. At least in I don't know how good it is in competitive Dota, but in the highest brackets, Bane fares very well because of the laning stage. Oh, I love this pick actually. I know you're picking it into Shaker. I don't think it's that big of a problem playing Chen into Shaker. You just you need to pay that extra bit of attention to your positioning, but what Chen does offer against Shaker is, it's the logic of, okay, you have this hero that does a lot of AoE damage, you pick a hero with a lot of AoE heal, and Chen can match Bane in laning stage. That's what's important here, is that Kuro enables, it gives Nigma the option of actually competing with these lanes from OG, which they really want to do.
And it basically
so I like it a lot.
It makes Nightmare semi-useless as well if you have creeps around to break the Nightmare on whatever hero is in trouble. And they pick Avenge, so now it kind of looks like OG is going for like a snowball sort of, or a strap potentially. Luna's gone, so we'll see what your next best choice is, but... And the Meepo pick. Well, at least they have Earthshaker. Bane is good and bad. Prophet can be a bit weak. Venge is definitely a little weak here, but they have they have so much single target damage and control that it could be effective against the Meepo. It's like they're on the verge of being able to beat it, but it's a little scary for sure. The Meepo pick is really strong.
I think, okay, so this might be a long shot, but I think what OG are thinking right now is they want to get Pangolier for Thompson and then put Samael on a carry Furion and do an offlane Venge for mid one. You have to solve Meepo in this game, like as usual, right? It's an 8th pick Meepo. The only solution you have whatsoever is Shaker. None of the other heroes are good against Meepo, in my opinion. They don't offer very much. So the last pick has to truly deal with it very well. Elder Titan, Pangolier. Not sure what else is really, like, you used to run Sven sometimes. He's just so bad right now.
And
you just can't pick Sven.
They changed how Cleave worked. It doesn't do pure damage anymore effectively, so it's not nearly as good.
We saw Samael on Nature's Prophet recently, and he crushed it mid. How does Nature's Prophet do mid against a Meepo?
It's probably alright, but Nature's Prophet doesn't have a nuke, and Meepo can definitely kill Prophet, prevent him from like TPing, that kind of thing, so it's kind of dangerous. Normally Prophet just wins by like having a superior right click and good animation, stuff like that, but Meepo just has so much HP and damage between the two of them that he actually breaks Prophet's formula a little bit. And once he gets mobility himself on Meepo, all he has to do is get on top and land the first net on Prophet, and Prophet's probably dead. So I would say it's not a great situation to be in as a Prophet.
Prophet can probably, I don't know, that lane just sounds basically like a draw to me. Maybe Prophet can get a slight advantage on the first few levels, but as soon as Meepo gets up Divided We Stand, he's gonna free farm. Like, he's just gonna poof out the wave, go jungle. Prophet can't do anything about it. And you saw how Weehaw played the last game that he had Meepo. He was against Shadow Fiend. He drew the lane and then he out-farmed Koikva by just going jungle. Meepo is... I like to say that about the hero. It's like, imagine the game is played only by AIs, right? Meepo is technically the most broken hero because of... Like, if you imagine you don't have the human element of having to control everything, but it just plays itself, the hero's efficiency cap is just insane, right? You can farm 3 or 4 places at once while being available for ganks. And the reason it feels balanced is that nobody can do it perfectly, right? Because it's not humanly possible. But the ceiling of the hero is just crazy. And when you have a free game, players can obviously come relatively close to the technical ceiling.
So what's the 3-position hero that facilitates properly the Meepo for having a for sure good game? some Aura Builder. It feels like OG's not showing that much with their picks so far. So,
I think
it's a little hard. Ursa or something.
Dragon Knight is decent. Maybe it's a bit too much in the way of... You're talking about Nigma, right? Or were you saying OG?
Yeah. Nigma.
Which one?
Nigma. Yes.
Yeah, okay, great. Dragon Knight is very much into the pushing basket, which they don't necessarily need because they have Chen Meepo. So I think for the most part, they just want somebody that is online and available at the ready all the time. Bonus points if it can buy an aura, like Vlad's Pipe or Mech, because Chen won't be able to buy all three, and Ember wants to buy neither. So yeah, any aura carry here for mind control is fine. I'm not sure what they're debating outside of Dragon Knight. Maybe the Sand King is on their minds once again. They're maybe a little bit concerned about laning. But we're gonna get our answer now. Oh, Sand King's banned, yeah. Kunkka, okay. Team fighter that enables them to stay alive and has catch and can buy the auras. This will be a utility Kunkka for mind control.
It's really
Pretty sure
good.
he's gonna go pipe.
And one thing that OG is really lacking right now is a lot of their heroes are vulnerable to getting ran at. Swap is still effective against that, but if Prophet gets X'd, if Bane gets X'd, if Earthshaker gets X'd, so those heroes are probably dead, and as long as Meepo's there to follow up, so... I really like the Nigma draft right now. It looks excellent. And fitting like Kunkka 3 and definitely feels valuable if the laning stage is okay for you. So I gotta say, I've been liking these 3 Kunkkas. Which feels like it rounds out the draft so perfectly because the catch is so incredible.
You gotta go Pangolier here.
Does sound pretty good. There's no major counters, right?
It's OG, right? You need something against Meepo. You need something for your player.
There it is.
All right.
Angle here. What?
That is another hero. That's another hero that does well against the Meepo. Firestorm is really powerful. It does a lot of damage to Meepo. He's so high health that the percentage-based damage matters a lot. I'm slightly concerned though. Mid-one's last game of this hero did not go too well, and the Kunkka boat. I don't know if Meepo dies if he's ghost shipped right now. He might have to.
I mean, this is a Topson Vengeful Spirit. They don't have a conventional carry. Obviously, Sumail played excellent last time he played Prophet, and he did tons of damage and farmed well. But this is some weird shit right here from OG. Some
But
really
that's what we
weird
were
stuff.
expecting, right? That's what we talked
This
about
weird.
before the series.
I mean, it looks to me like they're like, well, we're a little outdrafted, so we just got to push it up. We have to go even. We have to play even faster. No carries. No traditional carries.
One thing the Venge Core does offer is you get a fast level 12, so you have level 2 swap, and you can maybe put one of the Meepos in such a bad position that the save doesn't reach. Like maybe you don't reach with the boat, maybe you don't reach with the Coddle ulti to protect him. And in those situations, perhaps you can isolate and kill him with Fiend Script. That might be the idea. And they're like, okay, this Venge is an integral part of how we deal with Meepo, so we rate getting mid-one a hero for his offlane higher than getting the Pango for Topson. They could have even put mid-one on Pango. I wouldn't have been mad at that either if they kept the Venge and just put it mid, but yeah. It's going to be really interesting. I think you're underrating OG slightly here, Purge. I don't think it's that bad, but Nigma are probably my favorites to win this game as well, but not by a landslide.
I just see a core Venge, and I'm thinking about how his fights are going to go against a Meepo that's at all farmed later in the game, and I just feel like he's going to be collected repeatedly.
Collected.
So
Maybe then Nigma has a chance of getting a bounty on the Topson bench. They would need to kill him 20 times. It's a tough ask for sure, but we'll see if Nigma can do that. We'll see if Nigma first also can force out a third game of the series, as they are 1 game down here. Elimination on the line. Let's head into the second game of the series with Odie Pixel and Fog.
Thank you, Shiva. Yes, we're getting the Meepo. Once again, Fogged. It worked for them the other day. I'll be honest, I've got to agree with Kevin here. I think it's going to work pretty nicely for them here. This OG lineup, can it really deal with the Meepo?
I mean, it's weird. It's definitely different. I'm curious to see what their kind of approach is. If like they want to just play some, I don't know, like, try to play super fast around something, like just teleport around Sumail, trying to set up with kills with Soxa, like triple onto this Meepo and just try to kill him over and over again. But I've seen Topson when he's played this Venge, he doesn't skill stun. He goes like 0-4-4.
Oh, okay.
And he did that, I believe, at TI a couple of times too. Maybe he'll get like a point or something of it here or there because he has an Earthshaker to rotate. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see how they're going to do it because it does look like a pretty it looks like a very confident Nigma draft. Like they have the Ember Coddle, they have their
Yeah.
Chen Meepo, and then they have a Kunkka to boot on top of it to add even more aggression and more defenses for that Meepo. So yeah, we'll see how we'll see how they can try to dismantle, because it just looks strange from them. But that's
Like-
typical OG looking like a strange lineup.
I mean, true, because I imagine the majority of people are watching being like, what the hell is OG going to do with this lineup? And then, well, OG's going to get the chance to show us. We'll see what they are able to do with this draft against what seems to be a very solid Meepo lineup from Nigma.
Yeah, we were all hoping for the ET or the Pango, of course, you know, but unfortunately that ET gets banned, and they opted to not go for the Pango. I was on board with Sind again, honestly. I was like, I'm pretty sure they're going to pick that one, because that just looks like the strongest Thompson style that he likes to play, but yeah, just a different approach.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to really be all eyes on this Thompson Vengeful Spirit. I don't know how this hero can beat a Meepo, just at sort of any stage of the game. Like
Yeah.
what is the strength? I mean, I guess you can at least save yourself. You know, if you're getting gone on and surrounded by the Meepo, you swap one of your poor teammates in and say, good luck, buddy. And you get to walk away. But well, we'll see. As I said, OG has surprised us before in ways that we could never have believed to occur. Maybe they'll do it here.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
They did look super hot in game one. Obviously, things were very different with regards to the draft, but their play was very clean in game one.
yep. I'm just curious. I'm really curious to see what their actual like strategy is for this one, like what the idea of it is, because it just looks real difficult.
Yeah.
Once that Meepo if Meepo gets online, like they just like Earthshaker and Underlord, fantastic, but Venge does not contribute a whole lot of anything unless maybe like you swap the Meepo into a bad position, I guess, or something like that. But
Yeah, but you swap
Yeah,
one
it's
Meepo in, and then the rest of the Meepos come pooping
Exactly,
in, and they're
you know,
like, "Thank
it's
you
just
for the free
weird.
initiation." It's,
exactly.
it's, I just feel like
Oh,
it's going to be tough. But
Courier
we'll see.
top.
Oh, Saxa, he's got it. There we go. Courier
Oh
to
my-
start things off for OG.
I love that Earthshaker taunt as well. Rides on top of his totem.
Oh, Fisher on the 2, but they don't really have any damage. Just offering up a few right clicks. Mind control and Kuro are going to be more than fine. Very strong lane. You know, Kunkka already as tanky as he is, and then with the aura and the headdress from Kuro, it's constant HP regen. Mind control is going to be kept very healthy in that top lane.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if I see anybody really die up top. Maybe Kuroki if he gets trapped in some like horrible positioning here or something like that. But yeah, top should be pretty passive farm. Bottom is definitely a pretty strong lane. I like this lane actually quite a bit here for OG.
Okay.
Bane is the king of lanes, and then Underlord is actually super good versus this versus Ember. You have such a good base damage, such a good animation, and Ember he's pretty squishy. Only 3 armor early on. You get hit really hard mid.
As you try and make a go on Weehob, coming in there, blocking him off with the Fisher, but he's able to make the moves round. As CS-wise, he's continued to have the edge against Thompson on the
Ooh.
first few waves.
Saksa, he's stalking this courier. Look at him. He puts the ward down. He sees it. Oh, it's beautiful. Amaterasu, goodbye.
All right, a couple of couriers in the first couple of minutes. Saxa finding a nice little bit of a cash bonus for OG
Oh, mind
across the
control.
map. And he's pretty low. The Fisher is not going to catch him on the right side, though. So mind control is able to put the Fairy Fire and walk off. Saxa not quite able to find the angle for the block there.
All right, lanes though. Look at this. The lanes are at the moment for OG. They are quite solid. Mid Venge is coming out pretty even at the moment. He's doing that build that I was talking about, just having his 0-2-2 at the moment. And yeah, top they're last hitting great. And I already mentioned that bottom lane. Underlord is definitely going to have a fantastic time versus a Coddle Ember.
Yeah, the CS he's smashing it. 15 and 7 on mid one compared to this 5 and 1 on Miracle.
Yeah. And this game, I actually see, you know, that other game, he went for that Atos build, and it wasn't like he was versus a high mobility hero or anything like that. It was just an Atos. This game, the Atos is definitely awesome. Versus Ember Spirit, it's always going to be good. No tail?
I'm going to
Eating
try and
some
go.
grass. Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime they step forward, mid one's got the 2 points in the Firestorm. You just lay that down and it pushes Nigma back.
And he's got his... Okay, I thought it was a Soul Ring being delivered. Not quite yet. Meepo now will start to capitalize on the fact that he's a Meepo, so he'll out-farm Thompson significantly.
Because this is going to be the thing. How do they slow down the Meepo this game? Who's going to be able to start getting in the face of Meepo before he, you know, he's going to move back over to mids. They do have the Fisher block. But obviously, Weeha, he just doesn't care about the right clicks right now. He's got great early game stats, 2 Wraith Bands, that 9 armor. Means the Thompson just barely tickles him as a mid-venge at this stage.
I think maybe they could do some like rotations with the Venge and the Earthshaker, and then when Nature's Prophet hits 6, catch him off guard maybe with a Wrath of Nature. That might be one of the ways that they can actually try to slow him down. He's pretty tanky, but that might be enough. We see how much damage that last bounce of the Wrath can actually do in most situations. And Sox is giving him full experience. Soxa level 1, Sumail approaching level 5. So I think that probably is the game plan, that they use that Wrath early on to just capitalize on the lane advantage. Bounties.
Sue's able to get the most of them. GH is heading over, but already Weeha, he's going to be there to secure that one for Nigma as it is. Quickly back to mid. The tops are up. What was the item build going to be on this mid bench?
I think he just, I remember him doing a TI, it was just like treads and he just went a bunch of Wraith Bands. I think he went auras. Can't remember exactly what build it was, but I think he's been doing that in pub. So top, Sumail does get brought down.
Finally the first blood. It's a bit of a slow start 5 minutes in, but Nigma able to eventually break the silence.
And now the rotation from Soxa, he's trying to make something happen down bottom.
See with the Fisher, he's holding on to it. Into the root. Oh, Miracle, Miracle. Cannot get out of there. Mid one punch is too hard. So moves being made on both sides of the map. As both offlaners getting involved in some early action. And this is, I like this from mid one. And you're seeing this one. The item build you'll only ever do if there's a Meepo on your team. Pretty much. But going for the Ag straight up, Fault.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Meepo on his team either.
Oh, wait. Yeah, yeah, he doesn't.
I was like, I was trying to wonder what you're talking about.
I was trying to theorize why he would get Ags first. I was like, well, mate, it's got a Meep. Anyway, he's not. No, it's a different team.
Again, they dive top though. This time a rotation from Weeha. I think Kuroki actually teleported him up there with the Divine Favor.
All right.
They also find no tail.
So Folk, then, why the Ags? Why rush Ags? Yeah, maybe he's not going to do it.
To make the Venge and the NP just buffer? I don't know.
It's not very value, though. Or maybe it is. We'll see. I mean, it's mid one rush in the Ags. Okay. Cool. Never seen before. I've never seen an Underlord do this before first time.
Not first item. No, definitely not. I think I've only seen a couple Ags actually, like, ever. I have like one vivid memory from like Katowice or something, one with like Vici playing it or something. It was like a huge game with that one, but I rarely see this item picked up. As they get the sleep on Miracle.
Into the root. See if they've got enough damage. Now he's able to step his way out before the second proc at the Pit of Malice is there. He's still got the Sleight of Fist to play around with. No-Tail trying to dive for him, but not enough damage to kill him off.
Those 2 kills that they got on Sumail are actually pretty massive. He just now hit level 6. He's going to pop the Wrath. He wants Miracle.
See what he can do. No-Tail as well. Going for this area, keeping control of the warding.
Yeah, I think that those 2 moves that they made to shut down Sumail were actually pretty significant, because that slow level 6 now coming out on that NP does reduce a bit of that aggression that OG probably wanted to have. I'm seeing Thompson actually matching the farm of Meepo, by the way, still with this build. The 0, he actually went the 1-point stomp, but 0-4-3, and he's actually just going for Mantha, looks like. He wants to be a right clicker. So he wants to benefit off that Aghanim's Underlord.
Yeah, it's a very interesting concept.
Yeah. We knew that they were going to have some type of strategy for it, and I guess this is the one.
Now here we go. Looking towards Kuro. They find the Chen alone in the jungle and are able to hold on to this top lane, start to push it back out. Now I'm trying to... So, the Aghanim's Underlord, right? It gives what? It's half the bonus. Is it half the bonus damage to your teammates?
Yes.
Now, maybe... I don't know if this works because some of the things don't. If they're in a fight and they kill the Meepo and there's 4 Meepos around, is he going to temporarily get 4 times the bonus damage from a hero dying, and then obviously giving half of that to his team in the fight? Or does it not work like that with Meepo? Do you only get it as counting as 1 hero dying? Because if it is more than 1, then you can maybe see the logic there. Obviously, that does require you to start the fight by killing the Meepo, which is that's not an easy thing to do. But maybe you do get multiple hero benefits from killing the Meepo. What do you think?
That is a great question.
Because
I believe it only grants.
I think
I'm
that-
100%. Actually, I'm like
I
90%
think
sure
Red
it's just the
Grant
one.
because there's some spells like Undying Decay. It will only ever give you the strength from one of
Yeah,
the meepos.
I'm pretty sure it's just. I'm like 90% sure it's just the one.
I think unless it's. I mean, you never know. I've never seen anyone try it before, so we'll
Okay.
find out. But as I say,
I'm gonna find out
yeah.
right now. I got this. Let's see.
Oh yeah, give it. What are you doing? Giving it a test or?
When there are multiple meepos within range,
Yes.
only one of them grants Underlord damage when they die. There you go.
All right, so that's not it.
Bingo.
That's not the reason why it's rusty nice.
I
See,
was
I'm
pretty sure
trying
it
to
wouldn't
find
give
a
him the
reason.
plus. Yeah, I was pretty sure. I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way he just gets like plus 200
Like-
damage when they kill a meepo, you know?
I mean,
so
you
that
never
makes
know.
sense.
Yeah, I can guarantee you there was a patch in the past where you probably did get a benefit for every meepo dying.
Maybe it works. Maybe it's a feature.
I mean,
as well.
mate,
Maybe this
we'll
is
see. I mean, that would be classic OG, wouldn't it, to find something like that?
Yeah. Kuro getting ran down. Miracle
will-
also responding.
They got the magic missile onto mind control. One stepping over, but the chains holds back Thompson. Mind control is able to run away. Obviously, once this all goes down, we're 10 minutes in, 7-3, even on the net worth. And
Even
there's-
outpost trade,
Yeah.
and it looks like, what, was that even bounties as well? Yeah, 2 for 2 bounties. So very even early game at the moment. Saksa now trying to find some time to build a farm. Weeha doesn't want to let this Earthshaker get a Blink Dagger. They have to keep the aggression up to not let Saksa get this, because they do have that hero in particular versus that Meepo, which can be pretty devastating.
Well, yeah, off the
target.
mark, yeah, with that initial Earthbind. Saxo just gives it the straight old walk in a straight line, and Weeha won't be able to catch him.
God, you got me scared for a second asking that question. I was like, but I was.
I mean,
I was
so
confident.
where did you get that info from? Where did you read that?
I just quickly brought up the Gamepedia, so.
Okay. Alright, okay. I mean, I think you're right. There's no way, and there's no way it grants you multiple hero buffs. Well, actually, I mean, there is a way, and that's if it's been overlooked in the code. But, you know, I'm sure that it's not. This is a perfect game, and anyone who says otherwise, I will hunt down. Do not criticize it. Well, we'll see. We'll see. He's halfway onto the axe.
Yeah, this downtime is fantastic for OG. Look, Saksa's loving this. He's just staying top, getting all this farm for himself. He's gonna get a Blink Dagger at a decent time, and
They try and catch him before the TP's out, but he's already away. Mind control, still able to get the connection onto No Tail. Sets up with the X-Spark into the boat combo. No Tail will fall. So whilst this goes on, we are making as good as progress onto the E-Plate as you would hope for. He's got 2200 into the Eagle Song. It's going to be there very shortly. So far, nothing being done by OG to slow down this Meepo's early game. Weeha's getting all the space that he'd expect.
but they're getting a significant farm on their side, right? Their 3 cores are farming
look at
excellent, but Sumail.
Sumail, he's dead. Weeha's able to find a grab on him.
I saw him porting up there too. I was like, I wonder why he wants to actually set up on top, because you have to imagine they want to hunt Saksa, who's been up there for a long time. So that was a bit of a weird location for me to see Sumail TP on.
We'll have a mild pause here. I mean, what else do we have coming out from OG's lineup in terms of answers? I mean, after Thompson's done with the Manta, is it just going to be sort of a very sort of standard, you know, all general build of like Manta, BKB, and then into some sort of right-click items, do you think? Or
I mean, I would
has he got something
imagine
else in
so.
mind?
You need, I would imagine he needs the BKB, right? Like
Yeah, he's
Meepo
still
and
gotta
Emperor,
get
they're
it.
gonna collapse on him. Kunkka's gonna throw his boat on him. He needs to get a BKB, and then afterwards, I mean, he could go. Maybe he just goes for something like straight butterfly, like straight damage, because Meepo can't itemize to really deal with that too well. It's just he can just hold his ground with an Underlord aura. Maybe, I'm not sure.